Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the final NBA slate before the All-Star break. We got a two-game NBA slate for Thursday. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is like and a comment in the video. That's one inch of the giveaway. Max one comment left per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of this week. We'll go throughout the week onto my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway that many times. If I have 10 videos, for example, uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway 10 times. And again, winner receives $20 payment for myself. Also, just want to say thank you guys for all support. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. On YouTube videos, live streams, on Twitter. But with that out of the way, let's jump in the video. First, let's look back at my lineup here from Wednesday. And Wednesday was a pretty frustrating night for me. I was too heavy on the Milwaukee guys for sure. And then kind of got talked off Larry Nance, so kicking myself for that one. So a couple of mistakes there I made for sure. First, again, the Milwaukee guys. Draftkings did a really good job pricing them up. But when Giannis has missed games, Bledsoe and Middleton's upside has just been through the roof. We've seen 50 plus, 60 plus from them. Now, it wasn't necessarily the best spot. I get that, but it was just a way more balanced attack than usual from Milwaukee. Like Sterling Brown had a good amount of points off the bench. Then Connaughton scored a bunch. Like Brook Lopez was pretty solid. Normally, it's been, give the ball to Bledsoe, give the ball to Middleton, get out of the way. Or also, Ersan is like a value play. Now, I did not want to stick with Ersan there. I wanted to play Ibaka. He was in my cash game core. I don't know how much Ibaka ended up finishing with, but I know he did really good for that price. I was trying to rearrange my lineup. I couldn't get anything I was comfortable with Ibaka in there at center. So I was like, screw it. I'll stick with Earlias Silva. I know it's a very risky play. I talked about that. Someone made a good point, which I kind of forgot about or went over my head, was Marvin Williams. I forgot that he was on Milwaukee and he was available. So once someone brought that up in the live stream, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting off Ersan at that price. And the cash game core I gave you guys was Ibaka, James Johnson, Cheek Diallo, and unfortunately Eric Bledsoe. So yeah, the Milwaukee guys were a huge letdown. I'll take the L there. I was too high. That was a mistake I was too high in them. That was a mistake for me for sure. And then yeah, kind of getting talked off Larry Nance. Now, so I always watch the DFS content just to kind of get a gauge for ownership. But yeah, I got talked off Larry Nance for sure. I was pretty high on him, and some people had him projected for like only mid-20s minutes. So I get it. They made a good point, right? Because when Nance has been getting those big minutes was when Love or Thompson were out, and then the backup center was out too. So like Larry Nance would get the backup 5 run as well, and he didn't get that this game, but they just split the minutes with Thompson and Drummond and then gave Larry Nance all the minutes, which is really surprising. You would have think Drummond, who's playing well, I think he only got like 22 minutes. So him and Tristan Thompson just split the minutes, whereas Nance has played like all the power forward minutes, which, yeah, if I knew Larry Nance was going to play 35 minutes, he would have been a lock and load. But yeah, he was like somewhat high owned. He had like 50 fancy points. I'm kicking myself for that. I think I got talked off of him. Which I can't let that happen. So yeah, 2 mistakes there for sure for me. The too high in the Milwaukee exposure and not sticking to Larry Nance. Everything else here though, those mid to higher price guards like Booker, D'Angelo Russell, Devontae Graham, they're all really solid. Value plays, I went Naz Reid and James Johnson. Cheek Diallo, other guys that talked about those Minnesota guys, right? Hernan Gomez, Malik Beasley, they were all really solid. But yeah, like I said, I made 2 pretty critical mistakes again. Milwaukee exposure too high, not playing Larry Nance, kind of got talked off him. So that's basically it. Pretty frustrating night. Hope you guys had a better night, but let's see if we can close out the first half of the NBA slate strong, or yeah. So okay, we don't have over-unders yet. We have the Clippers and Celtics 1.5 point spread. And then the Thunder and the Pelicans, 2-point spread. I assume this Thunder Pelicans game needs to be a lot faster pace. All right, so let's start with center, and we have Zion at the top at 7.8. He finally had that big game that we were waiting for, and only 28 in 3/4 of action. He put up 50. Him and Drew were crushing. Lonzo's doing pretty solid. So this is dependent on Brandon Ingram news. If Brandon Ingram can't go, I love Zion. I love Drew. Would like Lonzo good amount too. So I would probably just load up on the Pelicans if Brandon Ingram gets ruled out. Steven Adams, I think, is a pretty solid mid-tier play here. We're probably going to get around 30 minutes from him. Good matchup against the Pelicans. I think he stands as a pretty safe option at this price with a little bit of upside. Favors a 4.9 is fine. He's just not getting a lot of run recently. Even with Brandon Ingram out, 24, no, I guess 21 minutes, that was a blowout. So he probably gets about 25 or so in a close game. I think he's solid at this price. Might give the edge to Steven Adams slightly, but it's a close call there for sure. Daniel Tice at 4.6. He has gotten 30 and 29 minutes in back-to-back games. Good to see. The way to attack the Clippers is the front court. Zubac, Montrezl Harrell. So, I think Daniel Tice at this price point is okay. But, Montrezl Harrell is 4.5K. That is just insane. Now, it's kind of for good reason because Marcus Morris being in the lineup, there, Paul George, Kawhi fully healthy, Lou Williams. I think we probably get around 20 to 25 minutes from Montrezl Harrell, but at this price point, I think he stands out as a pretty solid play. I would probably prefer him over Daniel Tice, who's going to play more minutes. Let's see, Zubac at 4.2. He's been getting slightly more run. He's always in play as a cheap option, right? He's a guy who can get you 25 to 30 in limited time. Even like Nicole Melli, I think, is okay at 4K. I would get extended a bit because of the blowout, but he probably gets around 20 or so minutes. I think he's a viable punt option. Cantor's minutes were way down. Only played 8 that last game against Houston. He's just a dart throw GPP play. You just got to hope he gets the minutes, really. Nerlens Noel, 3.2K. His minutes went way down. Only played 8 minutes. He's usually a guy that gets around 20. I wonder what happened that last game. I think he was in foul trouble. That must have been why. But as a complete punt play, I don't hate that. Again, we probably get close to 20 minutes from him. That's really it for center. So let's move on to power forward. Jason Tatum at the top at 8.2. So these Boston guys are all okay to me. Not necessarily, again, the best spot against the Clippers. This game is definitely more unappealing to me compared to the OKC and Thunder game. I would much prefer getting more exposure to that other game. Everyone healthy, Boston is just kind of a tough team to predict. Usually when everyone is healthy, I kind of go with whoever's the cheapest. We have Jaylen Brown, I believe, is the cheapest, then Gordon Hayward. So I think those two are probably my favorite Boston plays just for their prices. The big slate change news here is Brandon Ingram, right? If he is not available to go, then I love Zion. I love Drew. Would really like Lonzo. And then guys like Josh Hart, JJ Redick become more viable. Favors would become more viable. So, this would really change the whole slate. If he gets ruled out, I would load up on the Pelicans. Gordon Hayward is at 6.7. He's going to get about 35 or so minutes. He's been really solid. So, again, I think him, Jaylen Brown are probably my favorite plays just because they are the cheapest Boston guys. But Gallinari, gotta like him here at 5.5. His price came down. This is definitely the best matchup of the slate here against the Pelicans. We know he's going to get 30 to 32 minutes. I really like Gallinari at that price. Marcus Morris at 5K did surprisingly get 35 minutes in the game there with the Clippers. It's tough for me to really get super excited about him playing alongside guys like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams, right? Those are very high usage guys. So don't know if I'm going to get to Marcus Morris. Again, don't think we have to go to these rally guys like Grant Williams or JaMychal Green. Let's move on to small forward. Kawhi at the top at 9.1. So his price is dropping. Played 36 minutes, was pretty solid there, 55 fancy points. Now it's a tougher call, right? Because Paul George was always like 1,500 to 2,000 cheaper than Kawhi. Now it's getting kind of close. Now they're only $1,200 discount. So now it's definitely a tougher call. I think I might still slightly give the edge to Paul George, but it's close with those two wings for sure. Again, Paul George 7.9. Both got 35 minutes, which is really good to see. He had a terrible shooting night, 3 of 15, still put up 36 fancy points. So I think I would slightly give the edge to Paul George over Kawhi, but it is close. Josh Hart, JJ Redick, these guys become much more viable if Ingram misses. If Ingram plays, I don't know if I get to either of them at the respective prices. Shaman at 4.8. It has been getting some decent run with no Pat Beverly. I think I prefer some other value plays, though. JJ Redick would be a guy I would like a decent amount if Ingram can't go. Again, him, Josh Hart probably get mid-20s or so minutes. Don't think we have to go with anyone else there for value. So let's move on to shooting guard. Jrue Holiday, 7.4K. Really like this price, especially if Ingram can't go. If Ingram can't go, I love Jrue, love Zion, love Lonzo. I would just try to load up on the Pelicans if Ingram is unavailable. I do like these OKC guys too. And again, they have the best matchup here against the Pelicans. 6.5K for SGA does seem like a pretty cheap price. So I have a good amount of SGA. Already talked about Gallinari. I'll talk about Schroeder and Chris Paul as well. Definitely my preferred game to target with the Thunder and the Pelicans. Lou Williams is 6.1. Did get 36 minutes the last game with no Pat Beverly. If they're going to start him at point guard, I think he's in play. Again, my concern with these Clippers guys is they just have a lot of guys that are high usage. Jaylen Brown at 6K. I think him and Hayward are probably my favorite Boston plays just because they're the cheapest. He played 33 minutes the last game. So, yeah, I'm fine getting to Brown. I'm fine getting to Hayward. I think those are my preferred Boston targets. Schroeder, I like a good amount at this price, 5.8K. Had an off game the last game in San Antonio, 32 minutes, 18 fancy points. I think this is a bounce back spot here, though, against the Pelicans. I like him a good amount at this price. Marcus Smart, don't think I get to him. Don't know if we have to go with any of these value guys with Wanamaker, Moore, Ferguson. Don't have to do it. So let's move on to point guard. Kemba Walker is at 7.3K. He is a very, very frustrating player to roster for DFS. His minutes have kind of been down recently, which is concerning. 30, 30, and 28. I don't know if I get to him here. I think I would just prefer the cheaper Boston guys. Guys like Hayward, guys like Jaylen Brown compared to Kemba. And I like other guards more, again, especially if Ingram can't go. Chris Paul, 7.1. I like a good amount as well. We're going to get 30 to 35 minutes from him in a really up-tempo game. Had a really solid game the last game. His ownership will probably go up. But, yeah, I like all the OKC guys. Let's see, Lonzo at 7K. He's just been playing huge minutes. If Ingram can't play, I think he gets a slight boost. But I think my priorities, if Ingram can't go, would be Jrue and Zion first, and then probably Lonzo second. And then those value guys, right, like Favors, Josh Hart, JJ Redick. I think that's really it, though. So, again, for this two-game slate right now, I think definitely my preferred game to target is that OKC and New Orleans game. If Ingram plays, that's a hit to those other Pelicans, but I think they are still viable. If Ingram misses, would really like Zion, Jrue, Alonzo, those value guys. On the OKC side, like those main five all stand out. If you want like a punt option too, I don't hate that idea of going to Nerlens Noel. He's at 3.2 for that. Probably gets close to 20 minutes. And then Clippers and Boston side, or Boston game, I should say. Clippers, I think my favorite play is Paul George at his price, but it's close with him and Kawhi if you want to spend up for one of those wings. Lou, Marcus Morris, Shamet are okay. I think Montrezl Harrell is my favorite value play there on the Clippers side at 4.5. I know his minutes have been down, but we probably get 20 to 25 minutes from him. On the Boston side, I don't know if I get to Tatum or Kemba on the slate, but I think Hayward and Brown would be my preferred targets because they're the cheapest. And then Marcus Smart, probably not for me. Tice is a viable punt option. Cantor only as a dart throw for GPPs because the minutes have been up and down. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you like this video and subscribe if you haven't. We are getting really, really close to 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you guys enjoy the content, it's all free. The videos, live streams, answering questions on Twitter. Would appreciate if you hit that like button if you're not, or the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I'm going to I recorded an XFL podcast tonight. That should be up later tonight, if not tomorrow morning. Also, I'll have my video up for the Week 2 XFL slate probably on Friday, so be on the lookout for that. I will have a video up too for the Showdown game on Friday. The what's it called? Rising Stars Challenge. I'll have a video up for that. The World versus the USA. So that and probably my XFL video we'll have up on Friday. So thanks again for having to come in and check out the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys all later.